This is more than a school's first conference. It's a chance to say what's wrong with primary education in England and how we can change it.
I just wanted to be part of or meet other like-minded professionals who just want to find a better way forward.
The approach from the government is going wrong. We're going back to a time when, we need to know our times tables, we need to know kings and queens, we need to know capital cities. That is not going to prepare the next generation for being able to go out there and work.
I'm here because I'm really passionate about education. I feel that there is so much pressure to formalise early years. The best way to teach is through not the formal structured, through play-based.
And what's really striking is how many young teachers and students are here who are determined to change the current system and back a more creative approach both to assessment and to the business of education within the classroom.
The view from a whole range of speakers was, tests are damaging our children.
My son is 6, he is in year 2 and he is struggling. He is struggling with a curriculum that is narrow, age inappropriate and ultimately skull-crushingly dull. He doesn't like school because, in his words, I find the learning so difficult, Mummy. It's just too hard for me.
There is a monster stalking our schools, and that monster is assessment. It is completely out of control. We can't anymore value what we teach. We can't value anything which doesn't have a number attached to it.
We work with children and young people who speak about feeling stressed, little 5-year-olds using the word stressed, and anxious at school, but how this then continues to affect other areas of their lives. They are often painfully aware that meeting an expected score or grade appears to matter more than their enjoyment of learning, their happiness.
I'm tired of the false polarities that are used, that you are either creative or you're for raising standards. Why can't we raise standards by being creative?
We now live in a tyranny of numbers. Children are reduced to data. Their childhood, their personality is eroded and stripped away, and they become a 1, a 2 or a 3.
And we heard from children's authors. One of our most celebrated writers spoke about what his son's English teacher had said at a recent parents' evening.
We're very pleased indeed with what Emile has been doing because, have a look at this, he's got an embedded relative clause in his sentence. And I thought for a moment, and I thought, why would that be a criterion for good writing? You can write well with an embedded relative clause and you can write well without one. It doesn't seem to have anything at all to do with anything that I call good writing.
I think the trouble is, what you have to ask is that are our politicians deliberately creating a situation in which they are switching our children off from education? Because what education does ideally is to teach our children to think for themselves. Do they really not want a generation after generation actually, that can think for themselves? Because if that's what's behind it, we are in very sinister territory indeed.
With speeches and workshops, the conference was a chance for teachers and parents to meet and plan to really make a change.
Today has almost brought me to tears, listening to some people speaking.
Parents can demand that their children do not sit the SATs this year, which then makes the government sit up and listen.
And I'm scared. I think things need to change. The government needs to listen.
Our children are more than a score.